Hi, I'm here to talk about how we can unlock the power of data. My name is Key Lee. I'm a Senior Vice President at Booz Allen Hamilton, and I am the CTO for our global defense sector. Over 20 years at Booz Allen, I've had the honor of supporting global, multi-agency, multinational missions, ranging from counter-narcoterrorism, counter-IED, joint command and control, DCGS, and DI2E. There's been one common denominator across all of those horizontal missions, and that's data. Today, time is a weapon. Over the past decades, every aspect of the battle space has accelerated. Our warfighters are dealing with hypersonics. They're dealing with a supply chain where just-in-time is not fast enough, as well as a cyber battle space that's been prepped and curated for information warfare. How do we master time? Data. Unfortunately, there's no singular data solution out there. To unlock the power of data, it takes the right combination of mission, data patterns, and capabilities. Starting with understanding the mission requirements, as well as the conditions and constraints of those environments. Overlaying and identifying the right data patterns, and then integrating the right data capabilities. A data solution for an enterprise use case where you have unconstrained compute and bandwidth is quite different from that of a tactical edge use case, where you have limitations of your size, weight, and power, as well as operating in a contested environment. Today, the prevalent pattern is to bring data to a process. But what if we actually leverage the internet to model and extend from a centralized pattern to a decentralized data mesh? I'd like to walk you through three aspects of our data mesh solution. First is treating data as a product. We auto-generate data containers that encapsulate the scheme as well as provide core functions such as your create, read, update, delete, and access controls. This reduces development time from weeks to minutes. Further, it introduces modularity of data by being able to reuse these data containers. Second is something that we call the data DNS. If you register those data products into a data DNS, users will be able to globally discover and access that data where it persists. If the data product was analogous to a web page, when you're accessing a web page, you're not downloading it. Third is data synchronization. We realize that our warfighters operate in a disconnected, intermittent, low bandwidth environment. So getting the data to them is still important, but let's be intentional about it. Let's not default to copying data. Our data mesh solution provides a technical abstraction layer that allows us to integrate with the entire ecosystem of data solutions today and tomorrow. From an operational perspective, it reduces latency and friction for our warfighters to gain access to the data. Why is decentralization so important? I'd like to highlight three technical trends that we're seeing. First is compute. Compute continues to evolve, both at the enterprise level with technologies like quantum, as well as all the way to the tactical edge, where compute gets smaller and more powerful. Second is communications. Recently, OneWeb released the last batch of their satellites providing global space-based communications. Once the likes of OneWeb and Starlink provide resilient and affordable communications, communications will become ubiquitous. And lastly is the continued adoption and application of artificial intelligence. I believe the next generation internet won't be terrestrial-based, it will be space-based, where we won't just be connecting servers and clouds, but connecting all of our edge devices from our mobile phones, IoT devices, and military platforms. That's decentralized. Over centuries, we have evolved from the agricultural age to the industrial age to today, the digital age. Based on those technical trends, I believe we're at an inflection point where we evolve to something that I call the cognitive age. In this cognitive age, we will increase the human-to-machine partnerships where the machines will learn and perceive based on historical memory. What do cognitive missions look like? From a C2 perspective, it will provide dynamic code generation and recommendations for weapons target pairings. From a contested logistics perspective, it will increase the resilience of the supply chain by dynamically rerouting. I wanted to end with a personal anecdote and a call to action. I remember where I was on 9/11, like many of you. I had just rolled off a project at One World Trade Center, and my colleagues were still in the building. I ended up being a switchboard, connecting families, keeping them apprised of where their loved ones were. Phone lines were down. Mobile communications was inaccessible. I ended up setting up families with AOL Instant Messenger. The internet was resilient. How can we extend from the centralized pattern and use the internet to model a decentralized data pattern? I think answering that question will help us disrupt data. Thank you.